Alsace is a region in France, or is it Germany? It's on the border of the two, so I assume there's never been any dispute about that. Is this a French wine with German influences or a German wine disguised as French? I doubt we'll have an answer to that, but I'm sure we'll learn something along the way, and I'm also sure we'll have a drink. Welcome to Have a Drink, the show about what you drink. Oh my god. The show where you learn along with us about what you drink. I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
I'm Casey Price.
We've never done this before.
You think you don't need to read
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Untrue. Got to read that every time. Doesn't matter how long you think you know.
Oh no, it doesn't matter how many years we've been doing this. You can't wing it.
Mm-mm.
You can't Bill O'Reilly it and do it live.
No.
This is just like the thing with more. Oddly enough, it reminded me from a Mickey Mouse episode that we were watching on like Mixed Up Adventures. Like something happened where like Pete's like scooping something or adding hot sauce to something, and somebody says a different number, so he starts his count over again, not thinking about it, and then he starts the count over again. And I was like, this is literally me in any recipe that exists on Earth.
No,
when it's
me,
like 4 scoops of, and I'm like, oh god.
It's me scooping coffee. And it's
3 scoops in, you're like,
yeah,
what?
I'll lose track of how much I've put in there. I'm like, well, I guess we're making 4 pots of coffee out of this. I don't know.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Who? 2, 3.
That is me every time.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, I guess we're going to be time travelers in the morning. I don't know.
This much coffee in there, just cramming it into the thing, going just bit.
Well, the bad part is I put like way too many grounds in there, and then I'm like, well, I don't have enough time to drink, more than like 2 cups of coffee in the morning. So this is all going to be for 2 cups of coffee. And I'm like, we're going to get going. Gonna get some stuff done like a cokehead in the morning.
I've done it to the point of taking like 2 tumblers, like two, thermos things at once to work.
Oh, I'm well aware. You leave a collection of them.
Shut
up.
Welcome to Have a Domestic.
Yeah, look, in her car midweek, it's just like all these half drink.
They're not a half drink. It's the second refill. Thank you.
I was gonna say they're not half drunk. They're 1/3 drunk. They're 2/3 drunk.
Indeed.
How's everybody doing? Other than apparently having our new airing of grievances section.
Got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're gonna hear about them.
Did we even introduce ourselves? I don't remember anything anymore.
Yes.
You're caught up on effing up my situation there.
Yeah, we finished it up, and then you reread that start.
Like
we did not pause and let you cut this out and put it back in. You're like, no.
We just bombed the hell out of this.
No, that's how this goes. It's fine.
We came in and carpet bombed the intro. Like, no, there's no saving this thing.
Oh,
and here we are.
Yeah. How's everybody been? Everybody been up to anything fun, exciting?
In our household, we got to see you last weekend.
Devil, you say?
Yeah.
Actually, wasn't even. Was it last weekend or was it Monday?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, we say last weekend and Monday. Twice.
Bob's like, what?
But on the weekend,
no, it was.
We all got to.
Right. Jeez.
Brunch Saturday, and then
we did.
You were here Monday to babysit.
And
Saturday was very busy.
Well, I imagine.
For us, it was less busy than for you. For us, it was here's a nice brunch and a break and
a lot of money later.
Oh my God. I'm just like
delicious. And like I still love that place beyond words. However,
it's $130 to go out to brunch, and our kid didn't even eat anything. Well, we brought.
He had a chocolate milk.
that's chocolate milk,
like a $40 chocolate milk or something. That's why I was like, you got a cocktail and I got one beer. How is it this much?
And we got an appetizer and 2 entrees.
But we were reminded of how absolutely ridiculously delicious delirium is.
Oh, it's been so long, and I looked down, I saw the price of the beer, and I went, I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Bring me that beer.
We went to Taste of Belgium in Cincinnati, and that was great.
Chris says, "Oh, we only have one cocktail, and one beer, but that one beer is Utopia." So,
yeah, it's
I mean, if you find it on draft, I'm pretty sure the only place you can is the Sam Adams tap room here.
To be fair, my cocktail had Woodford in it, so
my girlfriend picked up tickets for us at to go to a museum exhibit after we had lunch with you guys, and I'll get to that in a minute. But
it's like I thought you were God, you guys were busy.
Yeah, very busy. But the tickets for that, because we went to a Pompeii exhibit.
Oh, you went to it. Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
So we went to that, and the tickets for that was like $50-some with parking. She grabbed that, and I looked at I was thinking back to the bill that I got, and I was like, you know what? If I take off the cost of the beer, we've both essentially split the cost of the day.
So, a quick inside baseball and going to the museum center. If I had known, I would have said just eat there, because they actually have some good
yeah,
food.
because they have the Montgomery Inn
there's
sandwiches and stuff.
There's a cafeteria, and I love everything about that museum center because it's all Art Deco.
Yeah,
and if you go to the cafeteria, it's like going to a cafeteria via the 1920s. And you walk in there, you're like, am I in Gotham? Because it's amazing.
It's pretty great. I walked in, I just went like...
Then you're definitely not in Gotham if it's amazing.
She kept... I kept getting a lot of eye rolls because we'd look around, I'd stop and just go, meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
You can't not do that, though.
And it's going to get even worse because it's been confirmed through approved tax breaks that they will be filming the new Superman movie here. Parts of it. So they are going to be introducing the Justice League, like the Halls of Justice will be.
Because what are you doing?
And so that's when everyone's already going nuts because they're like, oh crap, that means James Gunn's going to be in town.
Well, I think they used some of that on the on the Flash TV show, on the CW shows. Yeah, they used the exterior of it. And I was telling that to my girlfriend, and she just went, no, that's not that building. It's like, yeah, they put they used the exterior and then put it into a different lot, did a couple of little touch-ups, and then she just went, how did I not know this?
From the beginning, the Halls of Justice were modeled on Terminal.
Yep.
I was like, because it's gorgeous.
And I still want to get passes to that one day. It's just, I really wish we would been able to see the Lego thing when it was there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys talking about beer stuff. I was up a couple of times. It was fun. You had a beer drop off at least.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that later.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought that's what you poured, and I was like, that doesn't look great. And I kept drinking, and I was like, this doesn't seem like the Baba at all.
We're drinking
it's not,
gift beers because apparently I don't purchase alcohol anymore. It all gets brought to me.
Hey, that's the dream.
Yeah, that was we had a nice visit from the Bob.
Yeah,
and that's cute to hear Emmett saying Uncle Bob, and I just keep having flashbacks to Terminator 2.
One day, I realized this afterwards. One day, Emmett is going to have a very confusing conversation when we explain that not only am I not biologically related to him, but also my name's not Bob.
Then he has to hear
one thing at a time. Okay,
he has to be told the story of why.
It's gonna he's just gonna stare at it, like, has everything about you a lie?
It's all a lie. That's everyone though. Anyone who meets you, and we all call you Bob, and then someone hears you called Justin, they're like, "Wait, what's his name?"
Yeah. I have other friends who have known me like for a few years now, and I've had to that's popped up, and they're just like, how long has this lasted? In mass circulation, high school through college, the lingering effects, the rest of my life.
But I guess I don't know what of our time recently has not been focused with Bob. Oh yeah, the time we were with Casey.
Yeah.
We haven't recorded since the birthday party?
No, we haven't.
No,
Because
again, we recorded just before.
monthly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're
anything
monthly
anymore.
now. We had all of our kids thrown into a bouncy castle, and
It's airbags for children.
Who survived?
Yeah, it's Thunderdome.
Yeah.
we threw all of our kids and let them fight it out.
I wish there were like the pugil sticks around.
Oh, if we're gonna do that, you need to let me like build up like some foam, like jousting pillars.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
some American gladiators for these kids.
Oh,
You
for
know
sure.
how much I would have loved that at their age.
There are places
bet-
like that up here where they're just like, no, you can just let your kids American Gladiator this.
Oh heck yeah!
Where do I get to stand up and fire tennis balls at them while they
That's-
try to?
You know, I will put on the embarrassingly tight spandex and get up there. I will hand that up.
Boom, boom. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, we let the kids scream it out and whine it out, where our child just like climbed to the top of the slide and got upset because he couldn't boss the other kids around. Like, no, honey, they think for themselves now. That's not going to work anymore. And he goes and pouts.
It was
It's
nice
like,
while it lasted.
Man, that's what I hate about him being an only child. And that's like, before having children, we're like, oh, we want multiple children, so this doesn't happen. And then here we were in the position of like, yeah, multiple children's not really going to be a thing. And it's like, well, damn it.
Need to spend more time together, and they'll be bossed around in the future. I'm sure they'll take it.
But yeah, other than that, and we've been playing the
It's just been Pokemon.
Pokemon Goes this weekend.
That's been our mental health break.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have
take
no
shifts.
idea what is going on with the Pokemans right now. Like, there's just so many. I don't know. I just wish there was one game that released every 2 years or so, and I could catch them all and we move on. But with
There's
Pokemon
20
Go,
billion.
Well, we don't do. I mean, it's Pokemon Go specifically.
know.
Like,
that's the.
Oh,
Pokemon Go is like all of them rolled into one AR nightmare.
I still have to play this.
But
Yeah.
it's a condensed version. It's like someone took a funnel to all the other Pokemon games. They're like, look, we're going to keep all the gameplay the same, but we're going to funnel all the Pokemon in a digestible format and slowly feed them to you. Not all at once. They're like, you'll never have more than like 20 or 30 available.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
So
you
it's
say that. and-
if you say that until you're like, holy crap, I can't find the 20 or 30.
No, they
All these fuckers.
you get the shiny ones of everything. And
Oh, then you gotta get shiny ones. Then you gotta get the different region variants of some of them. And you're like, God.
I hooked my roommate into Pokemon a few years ago, and he's caught them all. He has
oh, that's cute. No, he hasn't.
no. He has like
Not in Pokemon Go.
I don't think he maybe has them all in Pokemon Go. He does have multiple accounts in Pokemon Go, so he can trade to himself and to others. And
So I saw people like that
That
today.
tracks.
There was a dude who was playing on his iPad and his phone, and like he's rating on both at the same time. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is stupid.
but on like his Switch and on his like Pokemon Home, where he stores all of his Pokemon,
Mhm.
he's got all of them.
So that's
I just feel like that's never gonna be there's gonna be a thing that happens where
it
like
it
I mean they
stopped.
just released that weird soul stealing matcha one.
They stopped doing that. having like an ability like a post game to get all of them a couple generations back, but they've allowed you to import your previous things for a couple times, so you can theoretically have them all. He's
So
The living
I have to go back. This was last Halloween. Introduced into the regular Pokemon games was Matcha Geist, and it's a ghost Pokemon that was born out of misprepared matcha tea, and
Japan.
and it exacts its revenge by coming back on Halloween and stealing the souls who have wronged matcha tea.
Well, the tea ceremony or whatever. It was like chipped cup, and it's like
that's where the Pokemon was born, from the chipped cup during the ceremony.
Oh, that one.
Damn.
Yeah, I got like 6 of those. What? No, I'm kidding.
That's the one you got to turn upside down to see if it's a true one. In the one of the most recent like big games.
See, I can't play the actual games anymore.
I was going to. I thought about it after I got up there, but I should have brought when I was helping babysit Emmett to bring. I have Let's Go Eevee.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like he would have enjoyed.
Maybe it's hard to say
because I wanted to do those.
He's so weird about it.
They like you can import your Pokemon from Pokemon Go into that, and your Pokemon from that into Pokemon Go, because it's Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, and it's like all part of the same thing.
And catching is pretty much the same thing, just with the Wiimote and with a Switch controller. So
it feels more infuriating. When I spent all today in front of a group of like 20 people, like Happy Gilmore, screaming at my phone, going, "That's your home! Don't you want to go home? Answer me!"
Yeah. But okay.
So, yeah.
Trying to figure out the segue, huh, Bob?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So all of our to-dos, except for Pokemon, have had to do with you two. And next week, it will be the same, because we'll all be coming back together to go to a concert.
Yeah.
Because next weekend is Dropkick Murphys.
Yes, it is.
And Pennywise.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'm still just like, I feel kind of bad, because a lot of people had been like, "Oh, I got tickets and we're going to that." And then I'm like, have you actually looked at all these bands? Do you know what you just bought into? And then they find, like, I showed them, and they finally like investigated, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going now." And I'm like, I'm not trying to like rain on parades. I'm just trying to expose this before you go and have a real bad time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that for you.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. I've made my preparatory concert playlist to kind
of became my cleaning playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that what you found is true, because I'm like, no, I want these covers.
Yeah, some of those covers are going to be I
know they're going to do Pogues covers though. I was like, they've
got to do some of them, especially with the recent passing of Shane McGowan.
That's why they'll do it.
Yeah,
like the big, hey, we owe this whole Celtic punk thing. We owe it to the Pogues.
Which is funny, because like Shane McGowan, if you watch videos of him getting to perform with like the Dubliners, he is like just so pumped just to be on stage with these guys, because he's like, these guys are amazing, and like, they were his heroes. And now
at his funeral, they were performing his huge hit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh God, that's still like, I'm so mad. I shared that on Facebook and no one like did anything. I can't watch it without, I'm just like bawling, like snot pouring out of my nose. Because like everybody just like, when the tempo hits and it picks up, people get up and are dancing at his funeral, and you're just like, oh God, you're like,
it's how you do.
It's like, this is an Irish wake. Like, everyone jokes about it being at a bar. Like, this is what it is, like a true celebration of the man's life.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our
Shane McGowan tangent.
Yeah, you should love him.
You should. Yeah, I will say I headed out to I think we mentioned I headed out to you guys. The Saturday I saw you guys, We went to the zoo in the morning to see the penguin parade. Went to, did a quick little sightsee of some of the zoo. Went to brunch with you guys. Then went to the Pompeii exhibit, which was real fun. Which they're like, would you like to have a guided like audio tour for this? Like you just download this thing, download this code. And I just looked, I was like, do I not look like someone who knows way too much about Roman history? I'm good.
Did the joke ever come into play where it's like, no, I've already thought about Rome like 5 times today before this became part of my day?
No, but I was half tempted to look at someone and just go, dude, pull the Ron Swanson of, I know more than you.
I'll do the audio tour.
That's what happened, because Chelsea is there going like, wait, they had tweezers and like a cast iron skillet? I was like, yeah, Rome is a lot more advanced than you're willing to give it credit for. You're thinking of them as like cavemen or morons. They weren't. They were
just assholes.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. They love to create a wasteland and call it peace.
Yeah. When there's no one left alive to fight, you have peace.
Your borders are secure then.
They're like the definition of the thing from Game of Thrones. When he's like, some people want to see the world burn and be just to be king of the ashes or something.
Mm-hmm. But it was like super neat. It was a cool experience. And then we went back to the zoo for the night hike. So you had to like kind of do a tour. We had like a little animal encounter, and they brought out a Brazilian armadillo.
Oh.
And it just sort of ran around in the room. And then they brought in apparently that thing runs on its claws because it's a burrower and it can't burrow through carpet and concrete. So it's just to see it just go. And then we also saw a tawny frogged mouth owl, some kind of bird. But apparently, if it had gotten freaked out, it would have stretched itself out, tamped down its feathers, and looked like a tree branch.
Sure,
dude, animals are crazy.
It's like we were like, does it really? And then my girlfriend pulls it up on her phone and just goes, "That's what it looks like." And we just went, "Holy crap, that looks just like a tree branch." Okay.
Just done the fainting goat thing, and someone like clap really loud, go bah, and then it'd be like, "Oh, tree branch."
Someone was holding it. I did not want it to freak out.
Yeah.
When you sneeze.
Yeah, pierce an artery, and then they're like, "Oh, and this person's gonna die."
Yeah. But
it's a bird of prey.
But it was a fun day, but I was very tired the following day. We also I went last night to Void Sake. I know everyone's shocked, but they're opening up a new tap room.
It's okay because it's a different address,
right? But it's like sort of like the I wouldn't even call it like a soft open because the place was packed. But
you ought to see them hard.
Turgid opening.
I'm here for the hard open.
Yeah. But it was a fun night. It's a great new place for it. I did also laugh. It was the only place I've seen in the last 2 months in Lexington that's health code inspection was a perfect 100.
Wow.
Because everywhere else I've seen has been lower. And I just keep walking and going, is no one else mildly alarmed these numbers aren't higher? Why is everyone kind of cool with this?
Well, I mean, I guess it comes down to, I can't even say it's like, oh, it's taking pride in your product. It's just like, no, I mean, sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah. And like, sometimes you get a bad inspector. I get
and it's brand new. Like when you've just come into a blank slate,
it's going to be perfectly clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just sort of funny though. It's just like the thought in my head of like, how is it everyone? But it was a good night. They had some jazz saxophone quartet playing, nice. Which my friends who were with me were like band people and music people, and did not appreciate that I referred to the soprano saxophone as a clarinet, the alto sax as a baby sax, the tenor sax as a proper saxophone, and the baritone sax as a scrap metal sax.
But all the tenor players would have just nodded with you and agreed. Yes, it is the only proper.
One of my friends went, "Oh no, that's what was it? He called it straight and narrow saxophone, rootin' tootin', and big boy."
Rootin' tootin'. Oh,
It's all
God.
tracks.
Yeah.
And it just takes me back to a meme I saw recently that this is kind of an aside. It goes back to, it's like all elder punks either live to see themselves. It showed like a set of stairs, and there was one going down and one going up. And the one going down, it was like all elder punks either go to like the hardcore where everyone just like punches each other in the face in someone's basement, or they go to the improv jazz side of it. I was like, this is not wrong. That's just like, because my mornings are now filled with jazz, because I'm just like, I need a calm morning. So now I'm just like looking for YouTube channels that are like cafe jazz, and I'm like, give me a rustic setting with a fireplace and some jazz, and I'm just like, can I just sit there drinking my coffee? Like,
you need a Ron Swanson Duke Silver album. It's like all up in my jazz.
Have we gotten to Casey yet at all?
Nope. We were getting ready to transition there.
That's Duke Silver is your transition, Casey.
Just checking in. That's all.
I'm good. No, I'll take a Duke Silver any day.
It sounds like a cigarette also.
Ooh.
I was not going to suggest cigarette.
I'm sure you had cigarette. We've met.
Mm-hmm. Although now I'm picturing like a Duke Silver, like a Pall Mall or something.
Don't insult Duke Silver.
Parliament.
Parliament. That's the other one I was thinking of. For when you need a little bump of cocaine when you're smoking.
Such a weird cigarette.
Anyway, Casey, what have you been up to?
Converting old
home
movies into like real digital, able to save these.
We ran into, we had started converting a bunch of my family's a while back, and not all of them got done, but just enough to DVDs so I could be embarrassed when people came over to visit.
That's the thing. I'm like let's just go cloud. 10 years from now, a DVD, you're going to be hard pressed to find a DVD player potentially, and so just like it's hard pressed to find a VHS player, and so
I mean, we still have them, but
you do
not in the apartment, but at my parents' house.
I mean, I'll buy it. I'm in the market right now for a bunch of them. Just because I'm kind of like, let's just start up a whole converting convoy here.
Well, remember
there are services that'll do it for you.
Yeah, remember the teacher, expensive as heck.
Remember the teacher I worked for in college for the music appreciation class, and I had to roll out a Betamax player to show videos, and I had to look at him and go, "You understand this belongs in a museum. I don't mean that as a joke. This legitimately belongs in a museum."
So we are of the age.
That was like a decade plus ago.
We are of the age. I can remember in middle school them breaking out the laser disc player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy God. Does anyone remember
laser discs?
I think I'd still use a laser disc.
Oh, those science class videos, they just bring them out and just like set that thing up like, all right, video's up, time for the next disc.
So kids, ask your parents about the Laserdisc, but don't, because it was literally a double-sided CD bigger than a record, like larger than a vinyl record.
You're gonna have to explain what a record is.
So
No, those are at least back in style.
Yeah,
though,
those are back in style.
They can get Taylor Swift on vinyl. It's everything's fine.
Cassette tapes are back in style. Why I don't know, because it's not like they offer anything, but just in like a retro thing, like no joke, the Walkman and the whole deal is back because kids just like, it's the 1980s or the early 90s, and I'm like, you don't want to relive that hell.
You can keep the cassettes.
Yeah, it was like they sounded like crap, and you had to use a pencil to like fix them when they screwed up. Like done.
It was the pencil was the most important device in the car for when.
Oh yeah, you always had a couple had to be in the floorboards. When you're like, oh crap, it started eating the tape, but we got it out in time. It's like, well, where's the pencil?
Whereas our child is like, CDs, we need a CD player, and I was like, no, I don't want to time travel today.
Yeah, because someone got him a Christmas present that had
the book that came with an accompanying CD, and I'm like, why? Why are we doing this?
He's like, I want to listen to it. And we're like, dude, it's not what you think.
It's porn.
Anyway, sorry, Casey.
Can you download that CD online? That's gonna live stream the CD.
Do you want something that's all the music from that was recorded for the audiobooks of If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, or
that's what this.
Or the universe, because there's also the dog, the moose, the cat, the pig.
Yes, I do know that there's a bunch of others. My car does have a CD player. Let's get him in my car.
Did you learn about these from our child? Was he like, Uncle Bob, you have to read me If You Give a Pig a Pancake?
No, but I had ran across them from something else. But
well, so that's even more mysterious.
Yeah, are you
from something else?
No, I read when I was a kid the moose.
You give a moose a muffin.
Yeah, and I remember that. Give a mouse a cookie, a moose a muffin. I don't recall the pig one.
Pig pancake, dog,
what's
donut.
The cat? Yeah, the dog is a donut. The cat is
a crepe. I don't know.
No,
a stone cold stunner.
Cupcake. Cat a cupcake.
That makes sense. I need to get that one for Zella. She would love it. Cats and cupcakes both. I made a discovery while I was trying to clean out to get to a lot of these videos that I'm digitizing.
Oh, and no.
That was...
Casey, you told us you didn't find any of those yet.
Oh, no. I haven't found any of those yet. I'm sure they're there somewhere.
We're not going to mention...
But it was a Berenstain Bears book.
Oh.
And I had to double check and make sure. I was like, is this really?
I could have sworn it was Berenstein. I thought they were Jewish.
Bernstein Bears. That's what I've always heard it.
That's what I've always said it as. So
yeah.
I used to believe that I'm not. Everyone else is wrong.
Mm-hmm. I gotta look.
It's the children who are wrong.
Maybe it was like the show just said its name wrong the whole time.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a whole movie about Avatar: The Last Airbender where they say the main character's name wrong. That's fresh in my mind because the new live action show came out, and I've been watching it with like butt clenched terror.
I say I'm hearing middling things about that. Everyone's like, well, it's not as bad as the movie, so I'm calling it good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm falling so far. There are some people who do, like the guy playing Sokka actually gives like a pretty solid performance all the time. The rest of it's kind of uneven.
The impression I'm getting is it's the same thing as the Percy Jackson series where they're like, well, it's not as bad as the movie, so we're giving it a pass.
Yeah. Anyway, Casey, you found a thing. The Berenstein Bears. Or anything else?
Just that the Laserdisc has a 3.28 gig capacity.
What I would like to see is a Laserdisc player out in the open that has an arm that drops down for your laser.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's an actual record that it just drops down and just spins and reads
You want the player exposed so you can see whipping
How is
around.
that not a thing just because of aesthetic land? You know?
No, because it would be dangerous.
Dangerous as hell.
So fast.
Does not matter. Does not matter at all.
It's not a record, which is, just like casually going around. It is like really producing some RPMs.
It's essentially a belt grinder in there. That's not belt grinder. As some kind of grinder. Angle grinder. Thank you. That's in there just spinning a piece of glass.
Have you ever had a CD explode on you while it was spinning? Because imagine a laser disc doing that.
I have not.
There will be casualties.
2,400 RPM.
I think that's what the Russian military. Yeah, I think that's what the Russian military uses for their for a lot of their data storage.
I think that's the plot of one of the Lawnmower Man sequels. Laserdisc explodes and makes the Lawnmower Man.
I think we may have a topic for this episode.
The Lawnmower Man?
Yeah.
We're not that drunk. Cheeky bastards. We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk.
Shockingly.
Saying that right now.
Like, good Lord. We're talking about there's another wine episode, guys. I know you're shocked. But
we'll also say I'm sorry ahead of time on the pronunciations.
What's the word for I'm sorry in French? Je suis la jeune fille. Nope, that's I'm a small girl. Sorry, that's all I can remember from that.
Sorry in Japanese, like 3 ways. So
that's well, of course they know how to say I'm sorry a lot.
I surrender. That's the French word.
Yes. But we were talking about the Alsace region of France and the wines that come there. It is a region in France that borders Germany and has a history of changing nationalities several times. It's almost like there's something there that both of them want, and it's not wine. The earliest evidence of viticulture in Alsace dates back to the 9th century, and the wines were famous in the Middle Ages. So maybe they were trying to fight over it back then. But the Alsace produces the most varietal wines, influenced by Germanic traditions, but in a dry, aromatic style.
So my mind is trying to grapple this. Influenced by Germanic tradition, but in a dry, aromatic style. I was like, I've never heard a more wine description of something from Germany.
There's a last week tonight. I think it's from this week where they were.
No, this week's was choice. I wanted to bring it up when we were talking earlier. I'm like, no, we don't need to get political, but it was delicious. I was cackling.
Oh, it was so funny. But they had I think he has a joke in there. It was like, talking about wine where it's like, it's just bad. It's just bad. What do we just think about how they describe it. It's complex. That's just another word for confusing. It's earthy, literally dirt.
So I'm like, you're not wrong.
It's not wrong. But when I think of like a German tradition, I just think of like, beer.
Full stop.
Yeah. This is a nice Alsace Dunkel.
Hey, I made my Irish stout today, by the way.
Ooh.
I'm just trying to get it in time for St. Pat's Day. I would love to get it in time for the concert.
I would.
You got to be open on Sunday for it to be ready for the concert.
I've been pushing my manager to do it. I'm like, this would be a really good group.
I saw that. I was like, I'd like just to be in there and maybe.
I mean, if nothing else, we can go in there. And
so you're gonna have some thirsty people pre-show and post-show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We may just go in there, just us.
You could maybe rope in some semi-famous people.
Private bar.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, we shut the whole place down. I'll come and serve you before the show. What do you want?
Yeah, I was also going to say, like, also, I'd like a burger. Look, I don't know.
That's the hard part, is getting to cook.
Yeah. But back to the episode. An important influence in the history of Alsace wine again, is the repeated change of nationality in the Alsace region, which has passed from France to Germany and vice versa several times throughout history.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's understatement of the.
Oh, yeah. Look, a big reason certain countries were mad during World War One, this region and the neighboring Lorraine. They the Germans got them, and France did not care for that.
So I feel like you could have a good bleed over here if you wanted to go back and listen to some of our history of when we did our first like in-depth series and we talked about
For the Trappist, we talked
from
about.
the Trappist. Go listen to those before you listen to this, and that gives you all the primer you need. And it's like, oh, I get their cackling and their inside joke.
Because it turns out that border can make some good wine,
Can make some good beer.
make some good beer, may also be hotly contested, at least over the centuries, and got shelled a lot, or straight up robbed, depending on, who took power when.
It was basically
Napoleon was a monster.
It was the DMZ of the Middle Ages. Like that's
and the Renaissance and
yeah.
the Enlightenment and the early modern the beginning of the modern period.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, in early history, the Alsace wine industry, they traded together with other German wines, with other German wines. See, muddying the waters. Is it French? Is it German? Who knows? Anyway, since the Rhine provides a means of transport for the wine, in much of the post-World War II era, wine styles from Alsace and Germany diverged, as Alsace remained fully fermented, that is, dry, to a large extent because they were intended to be paired with food.
How very French of them.
How very French. Where the Germans went, 9, people get drunk. Okay. In the same era, Alsace also experienced a drive to higher quality, which led to the AOC status being awarded. In recent decades, the difference between Alsace and Germany has diminished since German wines have become drier and more powerful.
Mm. And by AOC, we're talking about an appellation was given to them. Right.
And in the appellations off time, they're a member of the House of Representatives. That's what I see every time I see that.
That's fair.
No comment on any thought of the person. Just
when you have a that's fair.
Anyway, also the German wines have become drier and more powerful. Their training is almost complete.
Oh god.
While Alsace wines have become sweeter, and the late harvest dessert style wines have been, quote, rediscovered, unquote, in Alsace since the VT and SGN designations were introduced in 1983. So I guess there's like, once again, you know what? What if we just muddy these waters again? Just turn this back up, and who knows what's what anymore. Well, what about the varietals?
I was gonna say let's keep the muddying going. So
mud wine.
Yeah, that's
not nearly as tasty as it sounds.
But it's earthy.
Yes,
literally earth. As earthy as it can get.
Speaking of an earthy drink, what's that one that I had in Asheville? I wrote you all about it, but it's like ground up roots.
Wicked weed? I don't know.
No.
Sorry,
somebody out there that's like screaming at their podcast of choice, but like it's the one where it's kind of like the more hip thing that's supposed to have psychoactive properties.
Sorry, I'm now with like a long beard, a gray floppy hat, and a gray robe going, I have no memory of this place.
Kava.
Oh, I've heard. Okay, yes.
So talk about
Still
earthy.
haven't.
It looks, tastes, and feels like dirt. It's like gritty. It's mud colored, and it smells and tastes like dirt, like mud.
Yum.
Like if you dipped into the mud hole, it would taste less like a mud hole.
If you ate a
This
mud
does.
pie, this would taste less like mud than the beer you had.
Cava de Tequila. Yeah, that's the tequila bar at Epcot.
No, no, not quite. I mean, it is.
Which-
Cava with a C.
I very much want to book a tasting there where you can have like a professional. I don't know what to call them because I don't know if they have a designation like a tequila expert.
What is the translation of sommelier in
Yeah.
every other liquid form?
A tequila sommelier, because they have several apparently there on staff, and you can book to have a private tasting with them where they're like, no, we will lead you through this. I'm like, I want to do that. Anywho,
By the way,
Sommelier de tequila.
Tequila. I was just thinking that instead, what you need is if you're having someone guide you down a tequila tasting, down a particular path of drink, they should have them at different tables. Like one drink is at this table, one drink's at this table, and after every drink, you hop up on top the table and just go ba ba da 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 da, and just do the Pee Wee Herman dance.
everyone puts on their gray suit and their
you're dressed like that's required clothing for the
the
experience.
white platform boots. Yes.
Okay, so it said this is one of those cards that came up when I searched, but the experts who the people who are experts in tequila are known as catadores.
Ooh, catadores.
Because of course, like
So
everything just
sexy.
I just keep going back to the Miss Potato Head thing. Like, Spanish is so beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's because it's when Buzz they put him in Spanish mode. And he's like,
Oh,
remove the cat poop from the litter before we.
But he says it in Spanish.
oh. All right.
Anywho, Alsace produces mainly white wines, which is why I've never had it.
White wine.
With 7 primary grape varietals: Riesling, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Gewürztraminer, Muscat, Pinot Noir, and Sylvaner. Sylvanas.
Also,
Lady
Lady
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas. She would have one. It wouldn't be wine though. Let's be serious.
Solder, return from the
No,
grave and regret it.
she's an elf. She would still drink wine.
But it wouldn't be white.
Oh no, it'd be red. Also, again, I can't see Muscat without thinking of going, Muscat love.
I hear
Waiting
muskrat.
for it.
Also,
Right,
one of those words is
that is a
not
joke.
like the others.
Gewürztraminer.
I was like,
One of those is a World of Warcraft paladin. I know.
Yeah.
A good one.
Yeah, fair to Midland.
Well, Riesling is the king of vines in Alsace, producing dry and crisp wines with floral and citrus aromas. Pinot Gris is a rich and full-bodied wine with honey and spice notes.
Nope.
That I was going to say honey and spice, depending on the spice, could be fine.
it always loses me with the honey because it makes me think of mead, which is like just way too sweet for me.
Oh yeah, that's.
Okay. I was at a meadery like 2 weeks ago, so I'm fine with that.
So no, I was at a meadery.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Going to a meadery it's like I was at a sour beer brewery. It's like, oh, I went to Urban Artifact. So it's like, so you went down to the fruit market.
Yes,
that's all a meadery is. They're like, we took this like overly sweetened honey thing and mixed a lot of palatable fruit with it.
They have a. I keep laughing. There's a stretch of road in Lexington where you've got
Mirror Twin,
Myriad, this meadery, and now Void is closer to them as well. So it's literally
Void has always existed there.
It has existed, but it's now closer. It's like moved closer towards.
They're all within stagger distance now.
And so we've just joked that one day it's just going to be a brunch. You just make a Sunday out of it. And you go down, You get tacos at El Cid, get a beer, get some mead, and then get some sake and some food truck, like some
There's
ramen.
literally like 2 parking lots between all of it, and you just need food trucks to all set up in a row right there.
There's going to be a barbecue place near the new Void too. So honestly, just eat and drink your heart out down the whole stretch of road.
I got real worried. I knew it was coming that they were opening a new location, but then I saw the address, and as I'm like typing it in, I'm like, where is it? Oh my God, how close? Because the other one,
how close is it to? Yeah,
I was like, how far away is it from where it was? Because it's very conveniently located for us, as in we can drop our child off at a babysitter and then go there. And I was like, oh no, is it too far away to where that one? I'm like, oh no, it's down the road. Okay.
Yeah. I will say this. I now know of a better parking lot to go to for Void at their new location, which I will not share publicly.
Don't.
Yeah.
That's for me and you guys off the stream.
Casey's video keeps going away, and I'm just like, is everything okay? Or
he may be pooping.
It's the cats. It's the sensor when there's a cat anus visible on
that. If there was a good use for AI, that's it.
I was just say somebody had to have done that by now, right?
Well, speaking of cats, where the hell are ours?
Because they're dead.
Really quiet. I don't see them.
Oh God. Sorry.
No, we've been in this thing where Karomi has been stealing Brittany's clothes, and we were just like socks for whatever reason. She was just like grabbing a whole pack of socks that we had just bought. And
so I got these. They're merino wool, like the Kirkland brand from Costco. Also, they're amazing.
She was carrying them off like they were kittens,
like the whole pack.
And
I hadn't washed them yet. She's just like, these are mine.
And then the other night we were in the kitchen after we put Emmett to bed. I know this is a big aside. And we hear this sound coming down the hallway. We're like, shh. We both just kind of look at each other going, the fuck is that? And then we look out the doorway out of the kitchen and just see the cat, not even just like nonchalantly, not even acknowledge, just walk by dragging a pair of her pants behind. And we both are like, the hell?
And then it was like a trail. She was dragging the pants, and then there was a shirt, another pair of pants. I'm like, those are clean.
They were clean.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, where the hell was I? I don't even know. Okay.
You are at Pinot Blanc.
Yes, one of us always is there to note before tangents, which is great. Pinot Blanc is a light and refreshing wine with apple and pear flavors. That sounds delightful.
It actually does.
Gewürztraminer is a we've done a whole episode on it. It's a highly aromatic and spicy wine with rose and lychee aromas. How do you say it? Lychee or lychee?
Lychee.
On Bluey, they say lychee.
Yeah. Okay. Muscat is a fruity. I mean, I was just like, I know some people say it one way, others like say another.
Muskrat is a rodent.
And Muscat is a fruity and floral wine.
You can be on my baba.
I'm sorry, I can't tell what you're drinking from here.
With grape and orange blossom aromas.
Ooh.
Pinot Noir is the only red wine in Alsace. Alsace, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I keep wanting to be like, no, Alsace. Nope, that's wrong. Alsace. We had to look it up. Producing light and fruity wines. Hey, guess what? We looked something up for this episode.
That's all we looked up, though. Like, don't like. Let's pause our weirdness.
Producing light and fruity wines with cherry and raspberry flavors. Sylvaner.
Pretty sure that's not it.
Is a Sylvaner?
Sylvaner, maybe. Just say
Sylvaner.
Sylvanas. Let's move on.
Sylvaner.
Probably is that actually.
Is a dry and mineral wine with herbal and citrus aromas.
We say herb because there's like a fucking H there.
Go ahead and check your Dress to Kill.
I've been using so much Dress to Kill jokes lately, and no one around me knows what I'm talking about, and it just makes me sad every time.
Have you made her watch it yet?
You're just like, it's a crime that my jokes go unappreciated.
In fairness, my girlfriend also does not have the same knowledge of music that I have. It's just a different kind of knowledge of music.
That's a
And
hard
so-
thing to get like identical to any other person.
Right. So
Let's
I will make my usual song jokes and occasionally just wait for the response. And then it's like, oh, is that a thing? Is that a song that you know? Yes.
No, I will not get over the first time we spent time with her. And she's just like, you all are really the same person.
Wasn't it like a brunch? We did
Yeah.
that even.
I think it was also like the thing I can't Ashley had said the same thing because she was
Yeah.
talking to her and she just went, "Oh, thank God you're not one of them."
Yeah.
The hive mind.
What was it at brunch? It was something like, oh God, what were we talking about? It was when the server was there, and it was something about the food order, and it was like too much of insert name of thing, and without like even thinking, Bob and I apparently were both just like, oh no. And Chelsea's like,
So was it that or when me and the server bonded and started talking about Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Yeah.
Because I have a Hawaiian shirt that's Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Available on Paramount.
oh yeah.
I can tell you the full history. Do you know that the entire run of Legends of the Hidden Temple was filmed in like 2 weeks?
That seems right. Because it also seems like, yeah, no, let's try to kill as many of these kids as we can in as short a time as possible.
Because there's only like
I think that was Guts.
there's only 3. Oh God, Guts is even better to look up the history of that because they're like Michael O'Malley was just blazed, and it was the same thing. It's like it was all filmed in 2 days, and Michael O'Malley was just like freebasing in the back because it's just like he knew he's like I'm getting paid $2 for this whole thing, and they gave me a bag of Coke, and he just like ripped through it, and we got what we got.
Okay. How's the Alsace production numbers look?
Let's get to these appellations. So Alsace, just the straight up Alsace appellation accounts for 74% of production. The Alsace AOC requires that no less than 100% of the grape variety labeled be used. This is way different than U.S. requirements that only require a mere 75% unless you're in Oregon. That's why you see a lot of wines in Oregon. There are not that that's a real knock on quality, but they're taking some shortcuts. There are blends.
Well, they don't see the sun.
Yeah, pretty much. There are blends allowed in Alsace AOC, but they must be labeled. Oh, good Lord. Edelsvicker?
I mean, that's what I was about to say, like Eldzwecker.
Edelsvicker. Gentile or a named wine.
There's a hard extreme between Eldzwecker and Gentile.
Yeah. Eldzvicker's not really genteel sounding. Eldzvicker sounds like something you go to Amsterdam and order in the red light district.
No, it sounds like the safe word in the red light district that you can't say, and you're just constantly being tormented.
I miss that movie.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one who went there. See,
What movie are we?
Word, and it's like, oh God.
What movie are we talking about?
I don't know. What movie are we talking about? Euro Trip. Miss Scusi.
Casey's now just going, I need you guys to focus up.
Oh no, I've got a friend who's in. Was it Euro Trip? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Euro Trip.
Yeah, I think it's Euro Trip.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, until recently, Edelsvicker has always been considered a low quality table wine.
I was going to say that probably means it's delicious.
Yeah. The Alsace AOC includes white, rosé, and red wines. Rosés and reds are made with Pinot Noir, in case you didn't know.
I mean,
if you say red, my mind is just like it's Pinot. Like that.
it could be Cabernet.
When we did the episode, Pinot grapes grow no matter what. It's like after the nuclear apocalypse, Pinot grapes will be left. That'll be. I mean, it's like, oh shit, they survived. Here we are. We're drinking Pinot.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
The AOC is also allowed to label dessert wines as oh, good Lord. Vendigas?
Vendiges Stadives.
Uh,
I don't know. I just took a stab at it.
No idea. Yeah.
Vendigas Tardis.
That was the joke I was going to make.
It looks like either a Game of Thrones character name or a spell from Harry Potter.
And I'm going to call this is a French phrase, and I'm just going to call it the noble grains. This is a visual joke that only these three see.
Selection de Grands Nobles.
You tell me that's not what that's saying.
No, it's like a selection of noble grains.
Well, there. Noble grains. You have it. See a description of sweet wines below.
My guess would be Vendage.
Ooh, Vendage. That's a good
It
guess.
sounds very close to vintage, which would be maybe a bastardization of the word.
Which would be Venti.
Vintage Tardive, which may be like Tardive is fall or late in the season or something, or late.
Or
like you're on
time and relative space dimension. Time and relative
Late?
space. Time and relative dimensions in space.
Tardy, late. That makes sense. Okay, the late vintage. So
When you
late
pour
harvest
this
dessert
wine,
wine.
when you pour this wine, you hear a
that sounds like
and
great for your man.
it does sound like grapefruit.
I was like, where are we going right now?
And a police phone box shows up, and a woman with a grapefruit comes out of it.
Hopefully everyone just learns.
Look, I've been
something
having
for
weird
our-
enough dreams. I do not need this fuel right now.
Hopefully someone just learned something from our uninformed tangent, and then Casey stepping in to be like, actually, glasses up.
Coming in, going, "Excuse me, the adults are talking."
The adult, the singular.
Correct.
situation.
Singular.
It's true that in Alsace AOC wines, chaptalization is allowed, a method where sugar is added to fermentation. But many producers, same person, are moving away from this winemaking technique for the reason we gasped. That's why they are moving away from it. All right. Our next appellation, the Clermont d'Alsace, which is 22% of production in the region.
That's a healthy percentage.
Clermont d'Alsace is the fastest growing AOC in Alsace. It is a sparkling wine that produces a shockingly good bubbly using the bubbly, using the same methods as in Champagne. Clermont d'Alsace is the only AOC that allows local Chardonnay grapes. Ooh, the scandal. However, most of the white brut style bubbly is made with Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir, Auxerrois. I can never say that. We've talked about it in like 4 episodes.
Auxerrois.
Auxerrois.
It's probably not the X sound either, but here we are.
Yeah. Blended with Pinot Blanc, it's called Blanc de Blancs. White
of whites.
White of whites. A Quincy Ocha.
Also, when I see Pinot Gris, I think of Pinot Grits. the slightly amused and slightly disgusted face on Casey is what I was going for there.
Good Lord. I've said that way too much this episode. I'm sorry.
It's been a minute.
Anywho, and Riesling. The rosé wine from this region is a special find because it's 100% Pinot
Noir.
I just need to say Pinot. Come on,
There's a Pinot Grits right there.
But no, if I say Pinot, you know what I'm saying.
I don't.
The rules. So let's move on to the final appellation or the final sub district of the appellation, the Alsace Grand Cru. But it's only 4% of production. The rules changed quite a bit for the Alsace Grand Cru. AOC. There are a total of 51 Grand Cru plots total that are only allowed to use a single variety or blend just for official grape varieties. In Alsace, people commonly refer to the varieties as noble grapes of Alsace, and they are Riesling, Pinot Gris, Muscat, and Gewürztraminer.
Oh, look, that's basically all the ones we've been talking about.
The Grand Cru wines of Alsace usually have higher minimum alcohol levels, which require much riper grapes. Because of this, the best sites in Alsace are on the low southern and southeastern facing slopes where they get the most sun. The Grand Cru.
Southeastern part of most areas is the best part.
I mean, visually.
Visually, maybe not culturally.
There's
Meow.
cats.
Oh, he just came up and like stretched and put his paw up on my chest, and I was like, "You're not giving me attention."
That fellow tried stepping on me while I hung out with Emmett.
Oh, he stepped on me in the night.
He was just like on me going, you seem like a place I could sleep.
He's like 2 a.m. and he's like, "I need love." So he like steps on my throat and is like, "You can't breathe until you give me love."
I looked at him and just went, "I don't think you understand. I'm a dog person."
Well, the Grand Crus of Alsace are rich, honeyed, even if they are dry, and age-worthy. Collectors remark at the smoky notes of these fine wines as they age.
Ham.
Of the Grand Crus,
Salzenberg
in the Bas-Rhin is the only one with an allowed. Oh, good.
This sentence is terrible.
Yeah.
Salzenberg Baren with the only one allowed with the Savane
wine with a particularly large vineyard, close to 40 acres. There's also a plot of Pinot, which can be classified as an Alsace Grand Cru.
Gris Blanc,
Pinot Noir.
I'm being difficult. I'm sorry.
Gonna backhand you.
We're aware. Yeah. So also I feel like I have the shortest section and I'm like,
in fairness, the sections were these were colored and then things were added.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So
also there's a lot of spacing in the next section, so
yeah, I don't know why that happened like that. I don't remember doing that, but that doesn't mean anything at all. So Alsace is the only French wine region to label its wines by grape variety. That's weird. Rather than by place.
I mean, that's fair. Champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Other regions as well. We've talked about them. I just can't think of them.
Is Burgundy?
Burgundy.
Oh, yes. Like, Burgundy.
Alsace uses the traditional green flute bottles, which are also popular in Germany. Alsace has 13 different soil types. God, I didn't know there was a thing. Which contribute to the diversity and complexity of its wines. Alsace is by the way, this is a miscellaneous facts thing. All of these will make more sense and also no sense at all once I explain what this came from. Alsace is the leading producer of biodynamic and organic wines in France, with over 15% of its vineyards certified. Alsace is famous for its late harvest and dessert wines, which are labeled as that word that we said earlier. The Vendanges or Sélection de Grand Noble.
The vintage TARDIS.
The vintage TARDIS and the selection of Grand Noble grains. The grape variety Pinot Gris is believed to have been taken to Hungary in the 14th century, where it was named.
You thought the words were bad before. There's umlauts in this.
Surgabaret.
Surgabaret.
We'll put that.
You just speak through it with confidence, and no one will care.
It's further believed to have been brought back to Alsace by General Lazarus von Schwendy.
That
Oh,
is a combination of the most German and least German names I've ever seen.
After his campaign against the Turks in the 16th century.
It's an episode of Rick and Morty, right?
It was planted in Keinsheim under the name Tokay. Taken
Okay.
I was like, George Takei? No, it's not the same at all. Taken from Hungary's most famous wine, Tokaji, which does not use Pinot Gris, but rather ferment and Jesus Christ.
Hey, Brittany.
Ars le fleu.
Brittany, guess what section I found to add in here?
Yeah. For a long time, the Alsatian wines produced from the variety were labeled Tokay d'Alsace. However, in 1993, an agreement was reached between Hungary and the European Union, of which Hungary was not yet a member, to phase out the name Tokay from non-Hungarian wine. In the case of Alsace, the name Tokay Pinot Gris was used as an immediate or intermediate step, with the Tokay part eliminated in 2007.
Also, Tokaji looks much more like it's a Japanese word than Hungarian.
I know. That messed me up.
I saw that and just went,
like looking like learning Japanese. I'm just like, wait, that's not one.
Brittany, can you guess what just ran through my head with your last sentence?
The second I said it, yes, I know what's in your head right now.
That I think you're learning Japanese. I think you're learning Japanese. I really think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I got the song directly in there as soon as the words exited my mouth.
Okay, just same person. Casey.
Tokay.
Okay.
Also, the Tokay thing makes me think of like Scott recently saying like the zombie prince he has had a special on in the store.
Oh,
and he did one of George Decay.
Hey, I was just listening at TMS where he was talking about that was coming out because I'm like a month behind at all times.
You all keep saying Tokay, and I keep thinking because that's
one Tokay over the line.
Tokay is that's the name of the Polish descendant singer-songwriter of formerly Catch-22, but now Streetlight Manifesto and Perfectionist ska punk singer-songwriter.
That may be the most random factoid we've had tonight.
Well, no. So speaking of TMS, Brian did a whole episode of maybe he still does the show, whatever it was, where he just does like it's an in-depth look at a single
the thing with Hammond.
Yeah,
he still does it.
They go through the entire catalog of a single artist and like dissect it all. And they did one for Tokay, and it was just like, no, the dude is like a musical genius, but that's like his downfall. He's a perfectionist, so much so that he never sticks with like any band. Like he just keeps reassembling people, and so much so that he's re-recorded the same album like 4 times and is still not satisfied with it. But yeah, anyway, it's okay.
But by the way, real quick, this reminded me of a different random fact my girlfriend taught me today. The frontman for the band Toto is Joseph Williams, who's the
John Williams'
son and the man who sang Adult Simba in The Lion King.
Yep.
Huh.
She's like, did you know this? I was like, I knew one of these facts, not both.
Huh.
Anyway.
It's okay then.
Africa,
okay.
Really different way with okay.
You see John Williams up there conducting.
Alsace. Of all the ways that we could say it, none are wrong except for that one.
Alsace.
Amen. Alsace Wine is a diverse and versatile wine region that produces mainly white wines with 7 primary grape varieties. Each variety has its own characteristics and food pairings depending on the style and sweetness of the wine. So here's some general guidelines for pairing Alsace wines with food. Riesling.
Fish. Always fish. It's a white, right?
Always. Different kinds of fish.
Different fish have different flavors. I've been lied to.
No, you just need to eat more fish.
I really do.
This dry, crisp, and aromatic wine pairs well with dishes that have a pronounced flavor. You're looking at seafood, shellfish, smoked fish, chokrut.
I thought that was about to say charcuterie, and I went and I was like, "That's not what that word says."
It's like a mixture of charcuterie and crudité. So maybe that's what it is.
Charcuterie and croutons. It's
meat on bread.
Yeah,
Crudité.
it's an open faced sandwich.
Has nobody looked this up? We have to see what this is now.
Not. Why would we have looked this up? Also, the listing of foods there, I'm just like, yeah, goat cheese. I want all of this thing right now.
It's weenies and sauerkraut.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this is German food. Also
smoked fish, and you're like, yeah, all right.
Look, it pairs well with sushi. Can we have a Riesling and sushi night?
Ooh. I will have an anything in sushi night. I do not. Yes, I need sushi.
Let's get boats of sushi. We could be admirals.
Oh, we should get a wabi sabi. Right.
Let's do it. Do you know? This reminds me. Tangent here.
You're allowed.
Us now.
One of us. One of us.
This reminds me of. You remember Dignation, I'm sure, Bob, right?
Yes.
There is an episode that lives rent-free in my mind, or at least there's part of an episode that lives rent-free in my mind every time I go to Costco, because Costco seemed like this West Coast really foreign type of thing that was very special.
Until, yeah.
Well, and then we started getting them on this side. And
that's
still special, just not the same. But there's an episode where Kevin Rose,
yes,
like starts talking about where they should go eat after the show, and Brittany, it was very much like the let's go eat here, let's have this, like the conversation they were having during the podcast. But the place he was talking about was like, let's go get Costco pizza. Like Costco pizza is the best, and I was like, Costco pizza's got to be the best, but it's like it's okay, it's just pizza.
So
it's amazing when you get done shopping at Costco and you're like, yes, pizza.
I found a shirt because again the algorithm knows me, that was delivered to my eyeballs. It says, I got that dog in me, and it's just a picture of the hot dog from the Costco menu. And I'm like, yeah.
I've not had anything from Costco.
That quarter-pound dog is.
That's so unfortunate.
I don't want to navigate their parking lot. It is madness and chaos, and people are every which way.
Where you live, I get that.
Yeah, the Lexington one, that's everyone goes, oh, it's the best one. I'm like, no, it's dog shit. It's like way overcrowded and not laid out.
A literal nightmare.
Yeah, I was like, no. Ours, everyone's like, oh, it's so small. It's like, it's maybe an eighth less of the size and has like an eighth of the people.
Yeah.
Go in and leisurely browse. And
well, if you all want to join us, the plan is we make our Costco plans like weeks in advance. Next weekend, I believe, we'll be in Costco in Lexington if you want to make a.
Can I just hang out?
I think you're allowed, and we'll get you a hot dog from the Costco deli.
It's a whole $1.50.
Yeah. With a drink, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Then can we go to IKEA so I can get meatballs? There's not one in Lexington.
Okay, y'all need to have a day, honestly, when we all just come up here. The kids will have fun in the kids section. Emmett may or may not eat real food. It's gonna be great. Like we'll just go to
Sushi
IKEA.
and Riesling.
Sushi and Riesling. That's
and IKEA.
And IKEA.
I oddly like the veggie meatballs from IKEA.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Weird, but like, yeah, those are delicious.
That's the only meatballs of theirs that I've actually had are the veggie ones.
I haven't had any, so I've never seen an IKEA.
Why don't we do like the snack around the world, and we go from Japan to Sweden to I don't know
to America,
whatever Costco is.
Oh my God, we should. Okay, they just opened a Japanese convenience store in Cincinnati.
What?
Yeah. At work, they shared it initially, and then when I got home, Chris was like, "Did you know they just?" I was like, "Oh my God, this is a sign." Sorry.
Do they have vending machines, and how many panties are in them?
I'm looking this up.
Well, while she's looking that up, Casey, tell me about Pinot Gris.
Pinot Gris, and I
How-
never
how-
did like it. Is it like Pinot Grigio, but just they think they're cool, or is it
May-
like
Yes.
Or is it grits?
I'm so always confused with Pinot Gris.
Chris, would you be down if it was Pinot Grits?
Probably.
I mean, yeah.
If I could get that at Waffle House.
I'd like some good cheesy Pinot Grits, please.
No, I don't do
I don't
cheesy
know.
grits. I do buttered.
Oh, okay. To each their own.
So much for losing that tangent. We got 2 words. in.
I was trying, but then I got distracted by
That's why I'm
grits.
trying to right that ship and came in. I was like, no.
It's my fault. I threw it to Casey and then immediately threw it to you. I'm a monster.
Tossing this around. Pinot Gris is a rich and full-bodied wine that pairs well with dishes with a creamy or buttery texture, such as white meat, poultry, foie gras, mushroom dishes, cheese, and fruit desserts. I could see that. Although the Pinot Grigio tends to be more, well, I guess it is cutting. It's the food that's creamy and buttery.
Yeah.
All right. Gewürztraminer is a highly aromatic and spicy wine that pairs well with dishes that have exotic flavors. Never mind. Such as Asian, Indian, Moroccan, and Mexican cuisines, as well as cheese, especially Munster, and fruit dessert, and is a ret pally. There we go.
There you go.
I didn't know who was. I thought that was Brittany typing it in. I was like, well, I have
Nope.
to say it now. But
No, it's me. It's just me testing the Ron Burgundy limits and how fast I can type while you're.
yeah, I waited on it. Like I waited on the prompt.
I had started and I was just like, okay, maybe I can get done. I was like, and a ret pally. Nope, it's too slow.
I thought this was going to be something about rats because the next one up is muscat
Muscat love.
or muscat. I don't know. We'll go either way.
Muskrat.
Muskrat. Fruity floral wine pairs well with dishes that have a fresh and light flavor, such as salads, asparagus, artichokes, melon, and sorbet. I knew melon was going to be on there. I was up at salads and I was like, "Where's melon? Show me melon." There's going to be melon on this list.
Survey says.
Ding, ding, ding. Pinot Blanc. Pinot Blanc is a light and refreshing wine that pairs well with dishes that have a delicate and simple flavor, such as basic fish, seafood, quiche, onion tart, and some fresh cheeses.
Onion tart sounds disgusting.
Would not call that delicate.
It's like, would you like an onion and a tart? No, thank you.
That was a delicate fart, Jerry. Sylvaner, I think.
Lady
It's a
Sylvana.
dry and minerally wine that pairs well with dishes that have an herbal and citrus flavor, such as salads, green vegetables, fish, and seafood. I think I would like this. I like minerally wines.
Does it pair well with collard greens?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
I don't think many things pair well with collard greens.
I mean, it would be a white. If I were to pair something with a collard green, it would be a white, but it would probably be like muscadine wine or something.
Sorry, this is now a question I'm going to have to give my father at some point. Dad, what kind of wine would you pair with collard greens?
Oh,
Red of some kind, I think.
really?
See, I think white. You want something like light to kind of, balance out with that.
I'm thinking acidity.
Okay, so
Ooh,
you know what?
yeah.
What messes me up? I am never a collard greens person. That's the thing that everybody always goes on about. I like mustard greens.
Ooh,
That's what I grew up on, and
Too
I'm like,
peppery.
oh, mustard greens.
Prosecco.
Ooh.
Eh.
Ooh. Okay.
So
You're a fan of when I heal you and wow, while drunk on Prosecco, Brittany. I don't want to hear it.
we need to play again, but only
No.
like set limits. Our kids set limits on our end. Bob, your girlfriend would set limits. It's just the way things go.
That is accurate.
Hold on. Tangent. I think it's the acidity from like on collard greens. You got to have a little bit of vinegar.
Mhm.
And so the acidity of white wine would make sense because I could do like white wine vinegar instead of distilled vinegar on there. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, okay.
Pinot Noir. It's a light and fruity wine. Pairs well with dishes that have a savory or smoky flavor, such as charcuterie. That's the real shark brew word. Grilled meats, poultries, and cheeses. I can see
Casey,
Pinot
what-
Noir with collard greens as well, maybe if we were in the red world, because it's a light red.
Casey, what? It's a red. It's a red wine.
Red wine.
Red wine. It make me feel so fine. Make me happy all of the time. Okay, I'm good now. Yeah, so I guess that's the episode. We should move on to what we're drinking. I bet you it's not wine. Maybe Casey.
Sparkling Muscatel, one of the finest wines of Idaho. Would you taste it for us, please? Excellent choice. Should be for 95 cents.
It's never old.
Never. It's perhaps my favorite moment of the Muppet movie, and every last second of that movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. Chris, Brittany,
is there anything left of what we're drinking, or is it gone?
It's all gone.
Oh.
It's all gone.
Well, what did we start with?
The first one was also, I love the art on the first one. It's a collab between Three Floyds and Bells.
It was only available at the Bell's Eccentric Cafe. So not that we have a hookup that lives.
May or may not have lived in this previous abode.
What do you mean previous?
Or this, yeah.
Your current abode previously lived in this current abode.
I have been drinking. Yeah. So brewed and bottled by Bell's, but it is a collaboration from last year, actually, between Bell's and Three Floyds. It says collaboration ale, but it's labeled as an IPA. Which I think that tracks.
That does track.
Like with the taste, I'm thinking like
My next beer that I've got coming up is I really don't I'm out to the bottom of my grain stash from the last order, and I haven't made my next order yet. So I'm like, what can I throw together that's in this room to make a beer? And so I've come upon, I'm going to do like semi pale ale, but make it hazy at the same time. So it's going to be like lower ABV, like 5.5 or something, because that's about all the grain that I got. But along with that, I'm going to use a Kvik yeast or Kvik yeast, which is a yeast that ferments at 90 to 104 degrees.
Good Lord.
And in that temperature range, it produces citrusy flavors that are great for New England style IPAs.
Nice.
I'm also going to hop it with a Brew One hop, I think it is, which has pineapple flavor to it, kind of a pineapple flavor, and put in pineapple straight puree, and call this one Pineapple Express.
As I was going to say, if you're not calling it the Pineapple Express.
Well, especially the express part because of the it's done in 3 days. Because it ferments at 104 degrees.
It was a pineapple puree. It's not the kind that you find at a second-hand store.
So that's where creativity comes in when you're down to the last items in the pantry.
Yeah.
I will say for this IPA, it is not what you expect when you see Three Floyds and Bells on the label. You are you hear that and you're like, oh God, I'm getting ready to lick a pine cone.
Yeah.
It's not it's not bitter at all. There's no hop.
I would nearly go
craziness.
back to saying like Brute IPA when that was like the flash in the pan craze. That's almost what I would call this thing. It was
a very quick flash in the pan.
Yeah, thank God. But it was just like
it was all West Coast. Like the Brute IPA thing was like a 2-year thing in the West Coast, but here, we hated it.
It was nearly akin to that. I was just like, wow, this has none of the what I would consider Three Floyds or Bells character. So it's like they came together and like let's give this a shot. And now they're like, let's keep doing what we always do.
They just went, let's get weird, let's get funky. Not selling.
Let's get weird and not funky.
Yeah, fair.
And then the other thing we had,
gonna get funky.
Yes, we had the afternoon snacks, Baba Yaga.
Ooh, I was wondering which one you're going to break into first.
Aged in 4 Roses barrels, Imperial Stout with granola, cacao nibs, coconut, and cinnamon sticks.
Ooh, Casey, I had a thought. I have leftover Baba. You mean to bring a bottle or so down for this week, this
Yeah.
coming weekend, and we
Yeah.
can at least enjoy a little bit before we walk over and wait,
Yeah, for sure.
or
Get us
just
some-
post-show drink.
I can get us some walking cups. And so yeah, as long as it's in that cup, you can have it downtown.
Okay.
Outside.
Well, we'll discuss this later, but afternoon snacks, they had that as like a specialty, like last minute one well, not last minute, but like an addition one, like a couple years ago. They brought it back this year, and I was like, I am excited for some of these. What do you guys think?
Delicious.
Loved it.
Have we
I mean-
had a bad baba though?
There is no bad baba, and
Nope.
that is why the brewer up there stresses every year about this, because he's not failed yet, and it is
That's fair.
very intense. And I'm just like, buddy, it's fine. You know what you could do? Bring back old ones.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be mad.
So the Hawaiian should not have been good. That's one. where-
Shouldn't have been. I had one that was like so many years old, like a month or two back. Still slaps.
It should not have aged, and it aged very well. And it's just like it defies all logic.
Yeah. The brewer up there, Brandon, does a fantastic job. I sing his praises all the time, and it's not just Baba. A lot of his beer is just absolutely fantastic.
I will say, my mother couldn't remember one of their beers she was serving, and was just like, I don't know. She's like, we got to try them all before, so we knew what we were serving. And she's like, and I loved this one. She's like, it was absolutely great. She's like, I couldn't tell you what it was called, but it was fantastic.
It's like it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, but afternoon snacks is great. Casey, do you want to hear all the variants I brought down to them?
Let's hear it.
There's afternoon snacks. There obviously base Baba. There was
Chocolate and sea salt, which is
chocolate and sea salt.
It's
which
the goat.
Yeah, it's one of my absolute. It's a number of people's absolute favorites. And there's a fourth one. I can't think of what it's called.
I'd go to the fridge and look, but that's all.
Yeah. I will say they also had a special and ancient Baba that was like 3 years old. They found a bottle they had found a barrel that had been sitting around for 3 years, aging, and they just went, all right, toss it out. Let's see how it goes. And they went, this is servable. Let's sell it. And
I remember when Braxton did the exact same thing, and their idea was, let's just market the hell out of this and put it in a nice wooden box and upsell it.
They didn't put it in a big wooden box. They did put it in a full bomber though. But
they sold it as a special, as like the year one, because they had changed the recipe since then.
But I will say this: Baba ages well. Brewer straight up says, I've done your aging. Don't worry about it. Drink it now. This is how I want it to be. And so I'm making sure that all of my Baba goes away within the next few months when I have time to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, sorry. I got excited because I knew you guys were drinking Baba.
Well, speaking of getting excited, what are you drinking?
Well, I am drinking another friend of mine's brewery because tonight is the Lexington Brewing episode. Apparently. No, I've got some Appel du Vide from Void Sake. They put this out near the end of the year ahead of New Year's. It is their sparkling sake. I believe they use like a champagne yeast in it. I might be wrong on that. I'd have to double check with someone. But it's a nice effervescent sake, and with a little bit of like a kind of like an apple flavor in it. It's very tasty. It's about 15% alcohol. It's why also in this episode I've been drinking water at the same time, because I don't want to wake up hungover tomorrow.
Noble decision.
Yeah. Sorry. But very tasty, very good. I've talked about it before, so it's fine. Casey, what have you had?
I have had two things. Number one, I started off when we were talking about wine. I look back, I was like, I know I haven't got any bottles of wine, but I did have a bottle of port, so I was able to do a little bit of like a desserty style wine there.
Mahoy.
And then you started talking about mead, and I was like, I've got a mead back there that I've been sitting on for like 4.5 years now. So
Good Lord.
yeah, it's been like 4.5, 5 years since I made it.
Hmm.
So it's been aging, and it's calmed down. It's calmed down from whenever it went in fresh. I don't know what point along those 4 or 5 years it went, but it's no longer like hot. The alcohol flavors have all kind of dissipated, but the cork also like cemented inside the bottle. Like I was over here, I could not get it out. Like it would not budge.
So
I saw you fighting with it, and I was like, what is going on over there?
that explains the construction crew and the jackhammering we heard earlier.
Like, there wasn't a piece of cork larger than probably a pea that came out at the end of the whole thing.
Jeez. Like I know cork is good to use, but I'm like,
Well, I've got another one around here somewhere that's the synthetic, and it was even worse. I just stopped and gave up on that one, and we found one with a natural cork.
Okay.
I can pull that one apart. But yes, so that's what I've been drinking.
Well,
Today's
fun.
episode, though, that you've been drinking too, has been written by Brittany herself, using sources from Alsace Wine Region, a guide for enthusiasts. Even though she considers herself more of an expert than an enthusiast, but we're not going to judge her there. And then also Wikipedia, Alsace Wine's page.
and then okay, so those. Well, I added the first one. Whoever, I think Bob probably added the second one.
Oh, Brittany
The
doesn't quote Wikipedia.
that's not true at all. But primarily though, the episode was written by Microsoft Copilot, aka GPT-4. Because and the funniest part beforehand is I was like, I don't know, let's see what I really need to say to it to like help me out here. And I was like, write a podcast script for it. And I was like, this worked too well. Obviously, I need to reword this because it literally wrote like a fictional like like names of people and like the whole nine, like, hey there, listener, like it's a whole situation, and I'm like, okay, so not the way we need to go.
Did it write inappropriate jokes as well? Did it have to cut in?
There was more like painful jokes, like
Oh, so my jokes.
Yeah.
well, and it was really short, so it wasn't, but it that was great. But yeah, I think eventually I had to be like, I don't remember what form I had to put it in, but it was like the form of a news article, but like do it in this, and like you had to get really specific. That's the thing. Like any of these AI sources, you have to be like, okay,
Form of.
in this format and this long, and make things not dry, etc., etc.
Form of. Oh, a tidal wave. Shape of a bald eagle.
Essentially. But yeah, I thought otherwise I think it did pretty well actually. Yeah, so you can
Oh, hold on.
that's not my line at all.
You
We're
can
No.
subscribe and get some great resources. Yeah, absolutely, Brittany. At haveadrinkshow.com or follow us at Have a Drink Show on social media and twitch.tv. I knew you knew that.
The Baba strikes again. It makes you colorblind because
Say,
you can
"Who
tell
slipped
us.
their pants."
You can tell us your favorite drink, ask question, or just leave some general feedback. Use the email address feedback@haveadrinkshow.com. Do not inscribe your questions in feces in your car. We will not be able to read that.
Specific.
But you can use the feedback page on the website.
All joking and fun, or all joking and pants shitting aside, we'd like to remind everyone, please drink responsibly, especially at Baba Day. They are 3 years that are feces free.
So far. So yes, check us out. I guess in this instance, next month, for the March episode. I can't remember when exactly we have that scheduled, but Yes,
March
check us
of the
out next month, and
Penguins.
hopefully soon some social like videos that we hope to post, and we still haven't done that. And our store, our store is still going. We had some issues with the domain for whatever reason, but like it is still live. So if you go to the website and then go to the store link, still worked fine. The domain was just giving us some grief for some reason on haveadrinkstore.com.
They tend to do that when we don't pay them.
No. It was after that even. Like I was like, what's happening right now? But yeah. So once again, I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
And I'm Casey Price. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Surprised nobody made Chicago suburb joke.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.